Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well today. Today's tutorial shall be the making of a waterfall sleeveless jacket. If you're new to this channel, you are welcome. This is Donlarrie, and here on this channel I share pattern drafting and sewing tutorials. Kindly subscribe and make sure you tell your friend to tell another friend about this channel, and make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video you will be notified. Okay guys, so let's jump straight into today's tutorial. Alright guys, so to get started, we're going to be needing the dartless basic bodice, and we're going to be starting with the back pattern. So here I have the back pattern. All you need to do is to extend the length of your basic bodice to your desired jacket length or your gown length. I have a tutorial on the channel on how to draft a basic bodice pattern. I'll put the link down in the description box so that you can check that out. So here I have the shoulder line, the chest line, the bust line, the waist line, the hip line, and the hem line. And to the side line I added 1.25 inch seam allowance, so you can add half an inch, 1 inch, or even more than 1.25 inch to your side seam depending on how you want it. And then to the neckline I use 1 inch for the neck depth, I use 3.25 inch for the neck width, and then I created the armhole cuff. So the little adjustment you will need to make on this pattern is that because this is a sleeveless jacket, so from your shoulder tip here you can measure between half an inch. This is a jacket, depending on how you want it, you can measure between half an inch to 3/4 inch from the shoulder tip towards the neckline, and then you create a new armhole cuff. So that is what I did there. This is the actual armhole cuff for the back, as you can see from this line. And then from the shoulder tip I marked 3/4 inch, and then I created a new armhole cuff, and also I added half an inch seam allowance. So this is the seam allowance here, and I also added half an inch seam allowance to the shoulder slope, half an inch seam allowance to the neckline. So that is all that I've done. And then to the center back you're going to be cutting that on fold. So I'll go ahead now and cut this out, and on the fabric I will cut out exactly what I have here. I'm going to cut out 2 pieces because I want it as a reversible jacket. So if you don't want it as a reversible jacket, you can cut 1 main fabric and 1 lining. That is if you want to line it, but if you are not lining it, just go ahead and cut out 1 piece, and it means you're going to be cutting out a facing for the armhole and the neckline. So I'm going to make this a reversible jacket, and I'll cut out 2 main fabric, 2 pieces for this, and I will cut this on fold, and then we move on to cutting the front. Okay guys, so I've cut out the back. I cut out 2 pieces, exactly what I have on this pattern. That is what I cut out for the back, and now we want to cut the front. So all you need to do is to fold your fabric into 2. So I folded this fabric into 2, and then place your pattern paper on it, and then you're going to be leaving some inches, just like I have here, from the center back. So this is the center back, and we want to use it to cut the front. So here I have extra 10 inches, 10.25 inches here, and also the width of the lapel that you want will determine how wide the inches you're going to be leaving here. So I left 10 and 10.25 inches including the seam allowance. So once you have this, the only adjustment we're going to be making is going to be at the neckline and the armhole area. So you can trace out exactly what you have here. So what I need to do now is just to trace out the armhole for the back on the front, and then I'm going to indicate where the midpoint of the armhole is. So like I mark here, so just indicate that. And I'll also trace out the shoulder slope, I will trace out the neckline, and I will also trace out the center front. And then for the neck depth for the front, I will go down. I use 1 inch for the back, and this is the 1 inch here. Remember, this is the seam allowance. So from this 1 inch I'm just going to go down again by, you can go down by 2 inches, 2.5 inches, depending on the depth that you want. But remember that if you go down by 2.5 inches plus the 1 inch that you've already used for the back, that will be 3.5 inches for the front, and I think that is okay. So I'm going down by 2.5 inches here like this, and then I'm just going to shift the back, and I'll create a new neckline for the front. So I'll just use my free hand to do that. So the total neck width for the front now is 3.5 inches. And once you've done that, then you're going to mark whatever you have here, which is 10.25 inches in my own case. Just draw that line. You draw it straight like this. Then we're going to draw a straight line or curved line from here down to the M line. So I'll first of all draw a straight line. So I've drawn a straight line, as you can see it. So if you want it slightly curved, just find the middle point, and you can go in by maybe 1 inch and use that as a guide and just create a nice curved shape. So I'm just using my free hand here like this, and then you shape it down to the M line just like this. So just create a slightly curved line. And once you've done that, since we've added seam allowance to the M line, we've added it to the armhole, to the shoulder slope, so we're going to be adding the seam allowance to the neckline. So 1/2 inch seam allowance to the neckline. So now we can take off the back pattern, and then we create a new armhole curve for the front. So for the front now, remember we've marked the midpoint. So from that midpoint, I'm just going to mark 3/4 inch or 1 inch, depending on how you want it, like this, and I'll create a new armhole curve. So we've already transferred the seam allowance from the back to the front, so we don't need to add any seam allowance again. So I'm just creating a new armhole curve for the front, and that is it. So I will go ahead now and cut this out. And you remember we folded this into 2, so we are having 2 pieces for the front, and then I will also cut the same thing for the other fabric, because this is a reversible jacket. But if you are now making it a reversible jacket, all you need to do is just to cut out a facing for the armhole, and then you're going to cut out a facing like this for the lapel. So that is all you need, and then you add the lining. But I think using another fabric will be easier for you. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. I will also cut out on the main other fabric, and then we cut out the pockets. Okay guys, so another thing that you can do if you want the lapel to fall, and especially if you are not using a stretchy fabric or fabric that drapes well like the one I'm using a cotton fabric here. So what you can do to achieve the lapel to fall like this, like the one you are looking in the picture, is that from that neckline you will measure like 5 to 6 inches depending on how you want it. So I marked 5 inches down, and that arrow, that will be your breaking point, and that breaking point you're going to create a new neckline true to the neckline, and that is all you just need to do. So by doing it that way, it will make it to fall like the one you are looking at in the picture. So now we want to cut out the pocket for this jacket. This is optional. If you don't want to add a pocket, just skip this part. So I folded this fabric into 4. So this is what a piece of fabric that I have. I fold it into 2 and I folded it into 4. You can cut this separately if you don't have enough fabric, but you're going to be needing 4 pieces for this pocket. So, and then you're going to mark 7 inches. So I've marked 7 inches from here to here. The pocket mouth will be 6 inches with the seam allowance. And once you've done that, just place your hand, use your hand as a guide, and then you draw a curved line. So like this. So it doesn't have to be perfect. So can you see what I've traced out here? And then just cut that out. So now we have the pocket and every other thing cut out. All right guys, so let's assemble the fabric, then we move on to the sewing machine. So now we want to assemble this fabric that we've cut out. So we're going to be starting with this one, and whatever you are doing to this one is what you are going to be doing to the other one. So this is one of the front, so I'm just going to set this aside, and then this is the back, this is the back, this is the second piece for the front. So we need to place the back on the front, right side facing each other like I've done here. And then we're going to start with this one piece, and then I will just open up the back like this. And then you're going to be needing your pocket at this time, so I'm going to be adding the pocket to this fabric. So what you're going to be doing is to take 2 pieces of the pocket, and then you're just going to place it just below your waistline. You can use your pattern here, place your pattern on it to mark out your waistline, but I can see my waistline here, so I'm just going to place it at about half an inch below your waistline. So that is where you will place the pocket. So as you can see, I have 2 pieces of the pocket here because I want the pocket to match each other. So I'm just going to first of all pin this one below. I will pin it down to this fabric. Like this. I will place it on it again, and I'm going to place the front on it as well, and I will take my pins, then I will just open it up like this because I want it to match each other. So you can see the pocket and the back. I will just pin it down, and this is what you will do to the other side. And what we are trying to achieve here is for the 2 pockets to matches each other, so like this. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. So the first thing now we want to do is to go to the sewing machine and attach the pocket to this piece and attach the pocket to this piece. Okay guys, so I've joined the pocket to it, as you can see it. So I join it to the other side of the front and to the back. And once you've done that, the next thing is to flip it over like this, and then you place the back on it. So you place the back on it, make sure that the side line matches each other, and then you flip the one on the back also, you flip it on it like this. And once you've done that, now you're going to be joining this fabric together at the side, and we're going to be joining it together at the shoulder slope. So at the side now, you're going to be using your 1 inch or ½ inch seam allowance that you added. So you're going to be using that to join it together at the side like this. And then when you reach the pocket area, remember we added ½ an inch to the pocket as well, and then you're going to be using that to sew the pocket. So you sew it like this through to this side, and then you continue sewing the side seam, and then you sew it down to the hem line. So you're not going to be joining the 2 together here, so you just join it from the armhole through to this side and then down to the hem line, and then you do the same thing to the other side. And you also need to join it together at the shoulder slope. So for the other piece that we're not adding pocket to, all you need to do is just to join it together at the side, join it together at the other side, and join it together at the shoulder slope. So I will go ahead and do this, and I will show you guys what next. All right guys, so I've joined it together, and this is what it looks like. So this is the front, and this is the inside. This is the pocket. So this is the pocket from the side, and I've done the same to the other side. So the next thing we want to do now is to now join the 2 fabric together, and then we're going to be you're going to place the 2 together right side facing each other. So you start from the So let's start from here. So right side facing each other, we're going to be starting from this lapel. So this is the front piece. I'll place the front piece of the other fabric on it like this, and then I will start from here. So now we're going to be joining the neckline first. So you're going to sew it from one neckline through to the other side. And once you are done doing that, then you're going to sew the center front, which is here. You will sew it down to the hem line. You do the same thing to the other side, and then I will show you what next. Okay guys, so I've sewn it together just like I explained earlier. So I started from this is the front, so I started from the neckline, from here through to the other side, and also I sewn it from the neckline down to the hem line at the center front. That is the lapel area. I did the same for the other one, and then I also went ahead to join the two together at the hem line. So we now have the two joined together at the hem line, so from one side through to the other side. So the only place you will have left will be the armhole area, and you're going to be turning everything out through the armhole. So I'll go ahead now and turn this out. So I've turned everything out to the right side. So this is what the inside will look like. So can you see what the inside looks like? So this is what the inside will look like, and then this is what the outside will look like. So now we only have the armhole left, so just give it a good press before you finish it up. And then on the armhole, you're going to place some notches so that when you are joining the armhole curve, it will be easier for you. So especially the curved part of it, so just go ahead and place some notches around the armhole curve. And once you've done that, then you're going to be folding this fabric separately and the other fabric separately using the 1/2 inch seam allowance, and then you make sure the two align together at the shoulder slope. So make sure the two align together at the shoulder slope, and then make sure the two align together at the under the arm, and then you're going to fold in 1/2 inch on each of this fabric. So can you see that? Can you see the other side? So you fold it 1/2 inch, and then you're going to stitch it round. You do the same thing to the other side, and then that is it. So we are done with the jacket. So I'll go ahead and do this. I'll give it a good press, and another thing you can do is to top stitch around the neckline. So you can top stitch around the neckline so that it will be flat and look nice. And then if you would like to add a belt to yours, if you have enough fabric, go ahead and make the belt, and then you are done with your waterfall jacket. Okay guys, so this is the final look of the waterfall jacket. I hope you guys find this tutorial helpful. If yes, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share this video with your friends and family, and kindly subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do so for more videos. Until I see you guys in another tutorial, have a wonderful day. Bye.